Tutapata na wale watu kutoka kule Tanzania na Uganda tuelezee kuhusiana na matayarisho ya opening ceremony. AFCON inakuja. CEO na chairman. AFCON inakam na hao ndio watakuwa wanacheza AFCON. AFCON in the next 2 years. Wachezaji ukiwalea vizuri, wale ambao wako nyuma yao ndio watakuja kwa studio hapa in 2027 wakisema they know ako kwa national team, tunaenda kumwatch. Talanta Sports City, Raikard atakuwa anacheza. Wale wako nyuma yake watasema tunakuja kuona Raikard, tunaenda kumuona Talanta Sports City. So hii AFCON, CEO, I'm sure it's something kwa objectives zenyu na plans zenyu, of course huko ndo mnaangalia.
Ndio.
In terms of nurturing talent ya ball.
Yes, in the dream of every player ni ku represent his or her country. No. So tukidevelop our wachezaji wakiwa pale in our system, tunaonyesha they can be the best as much as they can achieve anything. And one of the benefits konayo ni kuwa na hawa watu wako physically in the team. When you talk about Austin, so wanaweza muona and they can relate and they can plan ahead. So kenye naweza sema ni the government is doing a good job. Tumeongelea about facilities. So these are the factors that will enable such talents to achieve that goal.
Indeed. Na ninaulize tu kwa general question. Umesikia kwamba hakutakuwa na vuvuzela kwa stadium, na najua watu wa Lakisama mnapenda kukuja kama Lakisama. Umesikia flags pengine itakuwa ni ya 1 meter na 2 meters peke yake. Firimbi hakuna. Isukuti pengine tu kama sisi Waluya, Ainea Mukaisi hataweza kukuja na isukuti yake kutuchangamsha kwa ile Russia, ile side ya Russia ya Kasarani. Hizi restrictions umezisikia, I hope umezisikia. Ziko mingi sana. Hautaenda pale ati sijui umeenda umevaa shati imeandikwa hapo Sengenge ni waya, ama unasema 1 term ama 2 term ama 16 term ama 17 term. Imebaniwa. Unaona hizo vitu mmezisikia, zitapunguza utamu ya ball kwa maoni yenu tu. Hii ni maoni yenu, hii hakuna mtu atakutafuta jioni. Raikard.
Mimi naweza sema zitapunguza utamu juu hiyo ni kitu tumezoea. Vuvuzelas, firimbi, tumezoea flags, isukuti kwa Waluya. Hautabeba hata njugu yako uingie nayo mzae. Hata maji ama bag yako utaingia nayo. Itapunguza pia juu pia watu wengi wa hizi kazi za mkono wanategemea hizo games. Kwa watu wa kuuza njugu, hizi madrinks wanatembezanga kwa kiwanja. So hiyo imefanya pia kidogo wataumia pande yao. Lakini bado tutaimba tu. Tutaimba.
But of course benefits ni mingi. Najua benefits, kuna ile pesa, kuna wale watu wa biashara watapata pesa, hoteli zimepata pesa. Wale wanafanya kwa hoteli, of course mnajua sasa wameitwa kazi. Yani a lot of people will benefit as much as pengine zitatukazia. Of course ni international tournament, iko na masharti yake, lazima tuifuatilie. Lakini kuna zile benefits. Deno pia umeziona. Benefits kama gani ambazo wewe personally najua unaweza kuwa na kazini yako. Najua alikuambia ameitwa job, pengine aendeshe gari ya ma VIP. No. Of course benefits ni mingi sana. Tuko na Peter, naarifiwa kwamba tuko na Peter kutoka Uganda ama Tanzania. Tuko na mwenzetu kutoka kule Uganda ambaye anataka kutuarifia, ambaye ni mwandishi wa habari wa michezo ambaye anataka kutuarifia kuhusu maandalizi kule kule Mandela Stadium kuendelea Uganda. Wako tayari? Peter, tueleze mambo yako vipi? Are people ready? Is Uganda ready for the first game? Is the preparations ready? Of course, you remember your president was in Kenya recently, of course, in a 2-day state visit. How are preparations in Kampala, Peter?
Hi, my name is Peter Sports, coming to you all the way from Kampala, Uganda. I do work for the national broadcaster UBC, and I am a sports journalist for the national broadcaster, sports journalist and commentator for the national broadcaster. Well, we are very, very, very happy as East Africans that we are going to be hosting this year's edition of CHAN 2024. And you realize that there is a lot of, can I say, input that the three governments of Kenya, Tanzania and Uganda have actually put into making this tournament a success. And we have to admit that it's a once-in-a-lifetime event that normally does not come oftenly. And the Pamoja bid actually was something that was welcomed by the 3 East African nations and handled very, very well. We have to admit that the first time that we actually had this, we were not ready, and CAF had to postpone a little bit until where we are right now in August. And I think we are very much ready to get these things running up, and of course the action running up. When you go down to Kenya, I can see the stadiums are very much okay. Kasarani looking very, very beautiful. I have to admit, I've just seen some of the pictures and the videos of the setup, and of course the organization right there. They are ready for the opening ceremony tomorrow against DRC. It will be, I think, a beautiful and colorful ceremony down in Kasarani. But I'm here to talk about Uganda. When you look at the Ugandans, we have been preparing for this for some time, and our very own national stadium, that is Nambole, has actually been upgraded to a specific level that has passed the test by CAF, and I have to admit that the footballers will be able to enjoy the football on Monday, because Uganda opens up on Monday against Algeria. That's going to be a very, very interesting game at exactly about 8 p.m. It'll be a very, very good game. We can't wait for that. This stadium is all set. The grass is very, very okay. The teams have all arrived. Yesterday, the Algerians did arrive. They were the last team to arrive. The first team to arrive was actually Niger some few days ago. Then Guinea came in the other day. Then Algeria came in yesterday in the evening, and they were welcomed very well to Kampala. So I believe they'll be able to enjoy the tournament perfectly well in very, very good conditions. Now, if you look at the East African region, I have to admit that the 3 nations have actually, can I say, have something in common, and that they share, and that is the element of Lake Victoria, the element of the Swahili language. We are almost the same people, I have to admit, and that's the reason as why the bid of Pamoja had to come through, and then it had to pass. That's why we're going for the Pamoja bid in specific. CHAN 2024 is a precursor to the African Cup of Nations of 2027. So if the 2024 CHAN is a success, then I'm very certain that CAF will be very much gearing up to prepare well the 2027 edition, because if you look at Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, we have never hosted a competition of such high magnitude. At one time, Kenya was supposed to host it, but unfortunately they failed and they gave it up. Maybe we could say the Kenyans in the game of football have the experience because they have hosted AFCON before, but unfortunately that didn't happen. The Sekafa region is very blessed that this is happening again, because if you look at the East African region, it's the second time that we are hosting this. I need to remind you that Rwanda hosted this CHAN way back in 2016, if my facts are very much okay, and it was won by DRC. That was the last time that it was in that is the East African region, because of course Rwanda is part of the East African region, but does not make that is the cut for the CHAN this time around, because they've hosted it before. CHAN brings a lot of benefits, not only to the players, but even the economies of these countries. Basically, if you look at Uganda, where I come from, we had an issue or a problem of infrastructure. Our sports infrastructure was wanting. It was very, very bad. The stadiums were not okay. Apart from Nambole, would not boast of having any other infrastructure. Yes, the Ham Stadium in Nachivubo, that was a partnership between a private individual and government, and the private person called Ham came up and actually renovated the place, and it's a good looking stadium, very, very good facility, but unfortunately it did not hit the cut to actually be used as a training ground, or even as a ground for CHAN, because CHAN and AFCON comes with its own kind of criteria. But we have to say we are happy that at least when CHAN came through, the construction of that stadium with the private individual went well. But if you also look at the other stadiums that we have actually gotten in terms of the training facilities, we talk about the Kadiba Stadium, that is a FUFA stadium in Mengo, which has actually been built, looks very, very good. It's one of the areas that will be used for training, not only for CHAN, but even the AFCON of 2027. Government gave them some money, and also CAF gave them some money, FIFA gave them some money. So it's a very, very good stadium with, of course, very, very good lights. Another area that benefited is a university called Chambogo University, where government actually injected money to see that the playing area is worked on with very, very good grass. They gave them even a dressing room, and also they put the lights on. So you can say that Chambogo University are very lucky to actually get support from the government because local players, it's time for them to shine it's time for them to shine really, because such a competition has very many scouts coming in from different leagues. Right now, you know, the leagues have actually gone on recess, and I'm very certain that if the scouts come through, they'll see these young boys playing. And
thank you.
There maybe
Thank you very much, Peter. That is Peter, a sports journalist with Uganda Broadcasting Corporation. That's their national broadcaster. That is their KBC. Even though KBC are Uganda. So Peter Otai, of course, is a sports journalist for the national broadcaster in Uganda, giving us, of course, a feel of what's happening in Nambole, where the action will be. He has already told us, of course, Niger have already arrived, Guinea already there, Algeria have already also arrived in Kampala, and definitely remember Uganda, their first game is will be played Uganda against Algeria on Monday evening. That will be an interesting fixture. So those are, of course, what is happening with the other East African nations. Remember, we are co-hosting with Uganda, Tanzania, of course, and Kenya itself. The benefits, of course, he has mentioned of how CHAN will be beneficial to Kenya. So thank you very much indeed, Lucky Sama Sports Club. CEO, nashukuru sana. Bwana CEO, of course, CEO will reach out. Thank you so much for making time. Send our greetings and our regards to the entire squad. Raikard, of course, Lua, wepiga hiyo shughuli. Chairman Ouma, Job, asante sana. And Dennis Okumu, shukran sana. We are taking you live to that big game, international friendly, Southampton versus Brighton. Enjoy. From Sports Exam, from us and here, enjoy. Tuonane matimes zingine baadaye.
Instead.